Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the official Hermitcraft Modsauce server. In the last episode we were ever so busy setting up our power system, gearing towards getting a quarry ready for use. And that would be the Quarry Plus that I have right here. Now I was about to set this thing up and it turns out that there is a bunch more work to do. So I wanted to show you because I know a lot of you guys are actually learning from me because like me you're a complete noob. And yeah, I just set up the landmark over here. I've dug all the way down to the end and all the way down in that direction over there. And by the way, I have measured it out, so the distance from the middle is going to be equal going in that direction to the wall over there as it will to this side over here. And I placed down the quarry and then I remembered something. I thought, wait a minute, this thing is supposed to be nice and shiny and enchanted. So I went back to the base, grabbed the advanced enchantment table and the regular enchantment table, and it turns out you can't enchant the Quarry Plus. So I thought to myself, okay, how do we do this? I don't know. I asked XB, he told me that we need an enchantment mover. So you put your regular enchants on a diamond pickaxe and then you move it over to a Quarry Plus. And as I say, I realised you could probably just use a wooden pickaxe since it's just the enchantments that count. But anyway, the enchantment mover is this thing right here. It's actually from Quarry Plus, so I guess that's why it's done that way, and this thing is really expensive. Look at that, we have to craft a whole bunch of stuff. Some of this needs to be crafted on an assembly table. That thing right there does. I don't know if this one does, I wouldn't be surprised. Nope, but there's a whole bunch of stuff we have to do, and it's going to take a whole bunch of time as well, because these things, if you have a look here by the way, let's go back to that. You see this MJ right here, that's the amount of energy. That takes about 20 minutes at the moment. This thing took 20 minutes. This one right here, the pump, is going to take 20 minutes as well. It is really ridiculous, but that's what I'm going to be doing, and I just wanted to show you so you get an idea of everything we're going through to get this Quarry Plus up and online. But later in this episode we are going to be doing the portals. Don't worry, I haven't worried about that. I just wanted to walk you through this beginning bit. So I'm going to wait for that thing to finish, set up the next one, which will be the enchantment mover, and I'll be back with you in a bit. Oh yes, look at this. Finally it's done. It's been absolutely forever. Check it out, we have ourselves the enchantment mover. We also want the Pump Plus as well, I'll hold on to that. And in the meantime, I've been upgrading the chests, so back here we've now got some diamond ones which are a lot bigger, and I'm going to upgrade the rest of them as well. That was certainly a good idea. But let's do this, hopefully there's nothing, no strings attached, it doesn't need power, something I didn't know about. Let's chuck this thing in here first of all. We're going to go with efficiency, we're going to have efficiency 5, we're going to have unbreaking, and it won't let me do that. Maybe I've got to enchant first. And it won't let me do that. Come on, let me do like level 1. I was totally derping around with that. I just needed to lower it down so we could have all of the bookshelves, and I enchanted this thing. Guess what? Doesn't work on the enchantment mover. Oh no, it doesn't. So let's do this diamond pick quickly. I think we should be able to go to all of these now. Let's go with unbreaking 3, and we're going to go with fortune, by the way. I didn't explain that because I cut that bit of the video out. The reason why is because I think you want to use silk touch so you can get the ores and do ore processing, which will get you more than you would get from fortune. But the thing is, at the moment I'm not really equipped to do that, so we're going to go with fortune 3 on this thing. So I can't enchant it because it's probably too many levels. Probably going to have to do this one by one. There we go, let's go up to 3. Okay, this time round I think I understand how this thing works. See this one right here? That's bookshelves. I had to make 3 more of those. So you have to have the amount of bookshelves for the amount of levels. So if it costs 25, I wouldn't be able to do it. And that, I think, is how that thing works. Should have been able to figure that out earlier. Anyway, let's place this in here. Is it going to go in? It is. That's brilliant. And there we go. So we can move all of these enchantments over from the diamond pickaxe over onto this side. Did that work? It did. That's interesting. It does 1 level at a time. That's strange. And I don't see it taking any XP for me to do that. And there we go, we've moved all of the enchantments across. That is awesome. Right, I think that means we're actually ready to use this thing, which is great. It's been a long day for me, and it felt like a cruel joke when I placed down this thing right here and it didn't connect. But XP told me that actually I can use this stuff right here, which is an energy conduit from the Ender IO mod. And I looked at the recipe for this, and at first I cringed, a whole bunch of other stuff to get into, but actually it turned out to be really quick to make. So hopefully this will connect to our capacitor bank. So I picked these up. These hold the energy when you pick them back up, so we can move the energy around like that, because at the moment I'm not sure if those cables can go this far out without losing any of the power. But let's just plop these down. Does it connect to it? It's connecting to it. That should be a very good thing right there. Let's make sure that this is set to an output. Input, output, there we go. So it should be giving it power. We should now see those little red dots fly out, and we're not. I am not surprised. It really has just been one of those days today. So it turns out it was fine, it was just removing the blocks on the other side first of all. So as you can see, I've removed out this entire area and I've been quarrying all over the place. There are loads of frames everywhere just making a mess. All of this, by the way, is from the I was about to say it again, the Plump Plus. It's the Pump Plus. That thing creates a load of those on the edge of your quarry border so that water doesn't leak in from the other side and stuff like that, and that's why we've got loads of that left over. So it's doing a bit of quarrying at the moment, but now we are ready to move on to the portal stuff. So if you want to follow me and do the same things, then just bring up the Enhanced Portals mod in NEI. If you don't know how to do this, you just go to Mod and then shift click on Enhanced Portals, and then you can use all of this to get the recipes, because as you can see, I've already crafted a whole bunch of stuff. So first of all, let's go over to here. We're going to have a little room on the side. This is going to be a small one. I'm going to build it later, and in here we're going to have our dimensional bridge stabilizer. That sounds ever so cool. To activate this, you've got to right click on it with a wrench after you've built a little structure like this, and it needs to be that size as well, by the way. So you right click on that, and then we have this little interface. Now what we're supposed to do is put these location cards inside of here, and then they get changed to location set. Now I don't know if you're supposed to do these one by one or if you can do multiple ones at once, but we'll give it a try and see what happens. Now we're going to start off by doing a kind of basic test, I guess. We'll set up 2 portals and see if we can connect between them. And do you know what I could really do with some cobblestone? Let me just go down here and grab a bunch of that quickly. There we go. I just want to make a little platform on the outside of these portals because we're going to set them up in the correct positions, but at the moment they've got nothing on the other side, and I don't fancy walking out here to the void. So we have to build a portal frame. I've got these portal frame blocks, and each portal needs a redstone interface, a network interface, and a portal controller. So let's grab the portal controller for now. We'll put 3 blocks like this at the bottom, and then we'll put our controls on the side here. So that one, and don't worry, we can't see it, that's perfectly normal. That is something I'm going to show you in a second. And we've got our redstone interface, our network interface, and then the rest will be portal frames. Now, I was expecting that to connect as one big block there. This is where we need our cobblestone, by the way, just so we don't walk off the edge. Now, I've got something in my inventory here, glasses. When you put these on your head, you'll be able to see the stuff from the portal. Look at that, that looks ever so goofy. Ha! That is awesome. Yeah, so now we can see these things right here, and we can interact with them. And to interact with them, we need this wrench, by the way. This is another thing you can craft in the enhanced portals. And we have the redstone interface, which allows us to control what the portal does, how it works using redstone. And I think I have to... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm supposed to right-click with the wrench. That doesn't appear to be working. What if I right-click with an empty hand? Okay, this isn't working. So just had a chat with Xisumavoid. Turns out I got the steps here the wrong way around. The next thing we're supposed to do is right click on the portal controller with our location card, and look at that, all the textures joined together. That is our portal created. You can see there it says in the chat that the portal has been initialized. So what we want to do now is right click on the portal controller with our wrench, and we have to set a unique identifier for this portal. That's going to be its own sort of frequency or something like that, a way to distinguish it from other portals. So let's just go with slime block for now, and now that we've done that, that's how it's going to be identified. And if we go up to the network interface, then we have to do the same thing, except this is for our network. So if we were to give this, let's say iron is going to be our network, then any other portal that's on the iron network will be able to connect to the other unique ones, like this one down here, which is a slime block. And then the redstone interface, this just allows you to change how it interacts with redstone. I need to click on that with a wrench, and so we'll leave it on default for now. And what we want to do, I think, is grab a lever, and I could have swore I put some levers into my inventory. Let's go grab some of those. Sometimes it just doesn't matter how much preparation you put into these things, there is always going to be something you forget. So now we can attach the lever to this. We're not going to power this just yet because it's the only one on the network at the moment. So over on the other side I have created another portal. We're going to do the same thing again. Right click on this with the location card. The portal has been initialized again, and now we need to give this thing its own unique identifier. So, oh, I see. You can change it from private to public there. The last one was slime block. Let's make this one magma cube. We'll save that, and then we need to right click on the network interface and change this to iron, I do believe. And now they should be networked together on the same network, and that should be it. If we power this, it should create the portal and it should link it to the other one. I don't dare walk through that because the one on the other side hasn't been created yet. But let's go around there. And, oh, it's been created because the one on the other side has been created. Well, there we go. So, if I walk forward, we should walk out on the other side over there. Did that actually work? I think it did, but it completely fooled me. It did work. It totally fooled me when I walked through that. You see how there's green on the other side? I walked through, and because the room is symmetrical, oh, that's amazing. That really is. Let's do that once more. Just watch for me here. It almost fools you. Yes, it worked. For a second there, it really had me. Yeah, but there you go. So that's how we create the portals, and that's actually successfully working, as we can see. I do believe this works, you know, in any dimension. You just do the same method. You go there with the location cards, you link them together, and that's it. Although I am wondering, oh, one thing. The network identifier, for every 2 pairs of portals, do we create a different ID here, or can we have multiple portals on the same thing? I don't know. For now, I'm going to play it safe and create them on the same network. So we're going to have 3 portals here. Let's go into the room. That's confusing going across the room like that. One of them is going to be for the Nether. That's this one right here. So that'll take us to the Nether. This one, no, that one's going to be for the Nether. That's red. So the purple one, that will take us back to probably Spawn Town. Maybe I'll do something like that. And then for the green one over here, it's going to take us to the mining dimension. So it will take me a little bit of time to set these up, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'll be back with you when they are done. It's done. Our portal room is finished, and I am not a happy bunny. No, I am not. That took a ridiculous amount of time. I had so much trouble getting these to work. Once the first one went up, that was easy enough. The second one refused to work, and then after a while of playing around with it, it just seemed to randomly work. The third one was a real headache. I had Assassin over here trying to help me set them up as well, and we managed to do it between the two of us, but I don't even know how really. It turns out the tutorial I was following was incorrect about this thing over here. Apparently you could only make it 3 by 2 by 2, whereas actually you can make it a lot bigger than that. This one now has another layer on top of it, and the more of these that you have, the more portals you can support. So with 4 of them, it didn't support it, so I had to add an extra layer, and then once I added things to it, it reset the original portals that I had, these 2 over here, which were working, and it was a nightmare to get them all back and, you know, up and running. I had to travel back and forth to the different locations, but they now do all work, and I never want to touch this thing again. So this one goes to the Nether. I actually dug this over to the relative kind of location in the Nether to this base, the way it would work in vanilla. Then this one over here goes to, let me remember the mining world. I can't even remember my own color coding system. And then the other one over here will go back to spawn, and this is what I want to do next. Oh, we're getting a bit of portal derpiness, like we get with vanilla portals. This one over here, I would like to make a little box around here, make it look a little bit pretty, like this portal on the side, because at the moment it does just look a little bit ugly. And if you're wondering why you can't see those blocks, it's because I don't have the 3D glasses, which I don't have in my inventory. Remember, we equipped them before, so now it just looks like this. But that was a real headache. It really was. I must have sunk about 4 or 5 hours into learning how to use these portals and actually managing to get them up and running. So you can kind of understand, like, why these videos are so short. The mods are just ridiculously tedious. Anyway, I did make a change to this room. You've probably noticed it. I've added the glass back. The comments are pretty equal, actually, on the video where we did that. Seemed like either way could have gone, but I decided to add the glass in. I kind of like it. Adds a little bit of extra detail that I think looks really cool. So we're going to go set that thing up over at spawn, and there is one other job that I want to do as well. We need to reset up our Tinker's Smeltery over here, because these barrels around the back here have been filling up with ores to the brim, and we really need to smelt them down. I've actually run out of gold and iron ingots, and so around the back here there are a whole bunch of chests that are filling up with ores, and we really need to process these and put them into our system. So that'll be one of the next objectives. I'm going to give a little bit of thought to automating it as well. It might be possible now to automate some of the things that it does, but I'll have to look into that. Anyway, I'll be back with you in a moment. I am setting up our new smeltery, and I'm thinking about some of the things that we've learnt so far and how we can automate this further. Now, by the way, this is supposed to be temporary. I plan on building a room design and finding a place for this, but I have just found out that we can actually store lava inside one of these tanks. And I used up all my buckets. That wasn't very clever. I should actually get some for a demonstration. Let's have a look. There's going to be some lava somewhere around here, conveniently right behind where we're working. Let's grab that and go up the top here. So we can dump this into the tank, like so. And then the liquid node is taking it before it can really stay there, and it's putting it into this thing over here. Although that says it's full, so I'm going to guess that this thing still hasn't filled up. I don't know how much it can hold in total, but this is good because I was just thinking about automation. I was thinking with a deep storage unit here, we could store an absolute ton of ores, and they could all go into there, and it'd fill up, and then as they turn into liquids, we could have these smeltery drains on either side, take them out and turn them into ingots and stuff like that. But the bit that I didn't know how to automate was the lava. We would need a lot of lava as energy to power this thing, and now we found out that we can do that. Now at the moment it's probably going to involve me, going around with some lava buckets and filling this thing up manually, but I'm sure there is a lava pump and stuff like that in the pack that we can learn how to use. Possibly lava from the nether would be a good source as well for this thing, so that could power that. And then we would just have some clocks around here to automatically activate these, so they would continuously make ingots or blocks, and then we could even have those blocks taken out by hoppers and put into our ender chest system. I brought one of these over with us, so we could put everything back in, which would be really, really convenient. And I did have another idea for this. I can't remember what exactly it was, but let's go over to the portal. I want to show you the portal thing that I built at spawn. It's a little bit derpy, to be honest. I didn't put too much time and effort into this. So if we go through and walk out over here, you can see we've used the Tyrian blocks over here. And doesn't that look a little bit odd? Well, that is actually the covers. These are not the full blocks, these are just the covers and the strips, and I've put them around this thing to kind of box it in, because we have a lever on one side and it's made out of a different material, and the end result is pretty odd and ugly looking. So I might come back to that when I have a little bit of inspiration, but for now I'm going to continue working on this smeltery and trying to automate things a little bit. This is ever so cool. As you can see, I filled up some of the lava on this side over here. I could have swore that I'd only filled up 1.5 tanks, but there you go, it's 2.5. Anyway, I've just been having some ideas about this. So first of all, we're smelting some gold. That is actually to make some casts over here on the side, because I forgot to bring those over with me. And so to power these things, I put some alloy across the front like this, and then we've got a switch for turning it on and off, which is pretty cool. And I shouldn't have done that, although we are going to smelt a lot of gold, so that will work. But there we go, we're making some casts over here. And as soon as it's made it, it's now turning them into ingots, because it's sucked out the ingot that was in there, hasn't it? And it doesn't seem to be working on the ones on either side. Let's give them a right click. Yeah, I've got a feeling there's something wrong with the redstone here. It's not updating it for some reason. I guess I'll have to investigate that a little bit further. But this is just a really nice design. It's given me lots of ideas for when we actually give it its own room. For example, we could put something wireless here, so we could actually control this with some buttons and levers at the front. And also I've got this deep storage set up over here. My thoughts were that what we could do is have a different type of ore in each one, because let's say you didn't want all your ores to mix when they're in there and join together, then you'd want them to process through one by one. So you could put your iron in here, it doesn't have to fill up the whole thing, and then the items from the one above can't go into this one until it's completely empty. But then I was thinking, well, the hopper kind of adds a little bit of a buffer to that, doesn't it? So you might have to use transfer nodes going down one by one or something like that. I'll certainly give it some more thought, but it is an interesting idea, because then you could bring in a whole bunch of different ores to be processed all at once. And by the way, they go back into here, so the gold that's coming through will be picked up by the hoppers, transferred around to there. And yeah, I could have used a chest and a transfer node or something like that, but it was such a short distance, it seemed like using hoppers would be a good idea. And do my frames seem a bit juttery around here at the moment? See, I'm getting just around 30 frames a second, but it just seems so stuttery and stuff when I'm over here. It could just be me. I can't remember if I had more than that. I'm literally down to my last pieces of iron at the moment and gold, so that's why we're getting on top of this. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's working or not. I guess I'll have to sit around and wait a little bit, and then we'll see. And this is interesting. I had a couple of repeaters, and now the one on the other side works, but not the one in the middle. This is strange stuff. I don't know why it's so temperamental, but there you go. Okay, we now have an excessive amount of iron ready to be smelted here. Look at that, 3,633. That is all going to be doubled. And for this we've got the ingots on this side, and over here we've got some of the cast basins as well to make the blocks. And I'm hoping that this can actually keep up with the amount of iron or liquid iron that it's going to be making. And you can see I've stocked up on some lava as well. But we're going to let that happen in between episodes. In the next one, I'm going to look into getting some lava from the nether. And it just occurred to me as well that actually if we have a look in here, no, I've left it out, haven't I? So where I've been quarrying, we've got the pump, I was going to say plump again every single time, the pump plus, and it's just round the corner here, and I was thinking this thing will probably do it. I think if you put something on top of it, it's going to output the items to it like it does with the quarry. So if we put a tank on top of this, then we can use a liquid transfer node to send it through an ender chest to this thing over here, and then we will have a plentiful supply of lava. But we're going to try that out in the next episode. I'm going to give this thing some time to run. I need to take a break from playing the mod source. It's been a long day. So as always, if you have enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.